Welcome back for another video. Here we go then, 7 game weeks ahead of us in December, opportunities to move up the ranks fast with some good decision making. In this one we'll be catching up with what all the experts are doing this week. Big shout out to them as usual for their input. In case you missed it, to add to the December fun, I've come up with an idea called the December Challenge. I've created a brand new mini league which lasts for a month only. I'm giving £100 to whoever scores the most points in December. The league code is VWHATM, or V-what-M as an easy way to remember it. Whip out your phones and get in the league. Best of luck if you get involved. So let's kick the video off with a quick manager highlight. The top ranked expert is Apo, who actually only scored 32 points last game week, but he's still inside the top 10k at 6.2k overall. FPL Flair scored the most points with a massive 74. He's moved up to 7.1k. Well done if you managed to beat the expert's average, which was 48 points. So looking at the transfer activity, just 6% are rolling this week, 49% making 1 transfer, 42% making 2. A couple of managers are making 3 transfers for a -4. One expert's got their wildcard active, which you might not have expected. They've shared their team with us and it's really good. We're going to look at it later. Well over 100 transfers made this week. Let's break down their top transfers in and out of their teams. At the very top, and not particularly surprising, is Mbumo, with 59% transferring him in. We've talked at length about his merits, penalty duty, set pieces, Brentford's talisman, and he's third after Haaland and Salah for expected goal involvement this season. In fact, if we look at the last 5 game weeks, this is a great table from FPL Radar, showing who's fared best for XGI. Over the last 5 game weeks, Watkins is top for expected goal involvement with 5.15, and then it's Mbumo in second. He's got Luton home next, who are worst in the league for expected goals conceded in away games, and then he's got Brighton, who are looking pretty bare bones in defence, and then Sheffield United. Of course, it does leave you with a decision to be made in Game Week 18, be it ride it out with him blanking or move him on. The fixtures in the interim look irresistible though. Diaby and Bowen are the 2 joint most sold players. Diaby of course hooked at half time last league match. He started in Europa Conference League Thursday night and he scored. He played 81 minutes there. In Bowen's case, he wasn't in West Ham's Europa League squad at all. If he's declared fit and ready for Sunday's game by Moyes, it's a difficult sell given they're home to Crystal Palace. However, if he's your only route to Mbumo, it just might be worth it. But Mbumo's not the only midfielder those Diaby and Bowen sales are being spent on. Palmer's the second most transferred in player with 22%. Faces a Brighton side who lined up with a back 4 consisting of Veltman, Dunk, Igor and Hinshelwood in Europa League. And on top of that, Dunk is suspended for the Chelsea game. Brighton conceded 20 shots versus AEK despite being a man up for the final half hour. Darwin's the third top transfer with 12%. He was rested in Europa League and he is home to Fulham. And we're suddenly out of nowhere left wondering if Watkins is going to play this game week. He wasn't even in Aston Villa's squad for their Europa Conference League match. Emery was asked about this and he said, "He had a small pain yesterday, not very strong. We decided as well to rest him." There was one more quote from Emery after the match. He said, "He was not available today. He felt something yesterday. I don't think it's important, but we decided not to take the risk. Secondly, we wanted minutes for John Duran." He also said he's unsure if Watkins will be fit for Bournemouth, but added, "Hopefully yes." One to monitor. Darwin could be an excellent replacement at 7.6 mil, especially given Liverpool's next 3 fixtures. Saliba's the most transferred in defender by 8%, followed by Lascelles, Gabriel, Tsimikas, Trent and Pinnock. Tsimikas started for Liverpool and he came off in the 81st minute in Europa League, while Gomez played the whole match, which on paper is reassuring for those of us that own Tsimikas or looking to bring him in. Klopp was singing his praises pre-match. He said, "Costa needed rhythm as well. We all know he's stable and then he can produce some beautiful things, especially crosses, set pieces and all these kind of things. We really need that. So yeah, really happy." Looking at this chart from FPL Radar, he is excelling in expected assists, key passes, passes into the box, carries into the box, clean sheets and BPS. Of course his minutes are still a bit of a question mark though. If you own him or transfer him in, then mentally prepare yourself for a random benching here and there in December. It's inevitable given the number of fixtures. And that's the theme of the month of December. So don't take on too many rotation risks, aim to have a strong bench, and then double check and then triple check that your bench is in the right order. It's going to be needed when you least expect it. We're all in the same boat here, doing our best to ride out the next few weeks. Eze and Cash have been sold by 16%. Eze out for a few weeks injured, which is a lot of game weeks. And Cash started in Europa League and he did play the full match. However, Konsa did as well, who is the other option in right back for Emery. Cash did at least get a rest last game week coming off at half time. However, Diego Carlos got no minutes in Europa, and he started every game previously, so it really puts Cash's place into the 11 in question. If Carlos and Pau Torres start in centre-back, then it could mean Konsa right-back and Cash benched. It's been a while since we've looked at experts chip usage, so let's do that. And we've got a wildcard team for Gameweek 14. 88% have used their wildcards, so just 11% have got it remaining, and 1% active. Those holding on to it are mostly aiming to use it in Gameweek 19, as you can dead end your team into the blank Gameweek 18 by dropping the likes of Haaland, Alvarez, maybe in Bumo depending on your sell price, and then wildcard them straight back in. And we may have news of a double Gameweek 20 by then as well, so you can also prepare for that on the wildcard. So one expert's got their wildcard active this week, Thomas. He shared his team with us, which is as follows. He's got Sanchez in goal, Saliba, Trippier, Gabriel back three. In midfield he's got Gordon, Saka, and Bumo, Salah and Palmer. Up top Isak and Haaland captain. His bench is Turner, Tsimikas, Wood and Bulldog. He's also sent in some commentary behind the decision and the players picked. Here's what he had to say. I went without Haaland since Gameweek 8, which first boosted my overall rank significantly, and no regrets, even if the last couple of game weeks haven't been great. That, however, doesn't feel like the play anymore, and with some other players I didn't like that much anymore, I decided I want a proper shuffle. It was always the plan to use the wildcard around this period before the hectic weeks. The thinking with the wildcard was to get Salah and Haaland, no reason to hide behind the sofas anymore. This is the EO safety blanket. But otherwise freshen things up and spread the funds to have bench cover for the Christmas crunch. I got rid of Son, Spurs not the same with all the injuries, and also Watkins for the fixtures, which is risky but I like the options I can get instead. Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool and Chelsea are in the focus. In terms of the team itself, I'm pretty settled on the midfield, it feels right, very likely no changes there. What I'm still tinkering, is it going to be Isak or Darwin, or both? Trippier is the enabler here. I still think Trips is the best defender in the game and I prefer having him, but downgrading Trips to let's say any cheap Everton defender and having a front three of Haaland, Darwin and Isak is tempting. Sure, there's benching headaches for having 8 solid attacking players, but the schedules are tough and surely some rotations coming, so kinda like it. Jesus was also an option, but the rotation at Arsenal and spread of points pushed more towards Arsenal defence than Isak and Darwin. Kelleher also an option for the short term, but I likely don't want to spend a Liverpool spot there. The second keeper is tricky as well, but Sanchez feels quite secure for long term as well. Love the wildcard team, best of luck mate, thanks for sending in. That brings us to a key segment this week, Gameweek 14 Captaincy. It's fair to say most of us are looking at either Salah or Haaland. That's certainly what the experts are doing. 66% are on Captain Haaland, 34% on Salah. Let's make the case for both of them, and then you can make a gut call between what you like. Man City play against Spurs, who are expected to play a high line. Davies and Romero likely the centre-back pairing again. These two could seriously struggle to handle Haaland's superior physicality, and the high line providing a lot of lethal runs in behind. No Bentancur to help defensively, Maddison's still sidelined for a while, all big misses in the team. He's top of the Gameweek 14 goal scorer odds, given a 56.5% chance of scoring. Salah's second, given a 50% chance, obviously gets an extra point per goal and a potential clean sheet point. He's home to Fulham, and he and Haaland both come off a good midweek, finding the back of the net in European football. Salah's playing Fulham, who have fared much worse for expected goals conceded, but they at least aren't missing key players and likely to play with a low block. Liverpool are more than capable of unlocking their defence though. It's an absolute coin toss this week. FPL Review has them a matter of 0.3 predicted points apart, Haaland 7.6, Salah 7.3. Too close to be decisive and essentially noise. I'd love to know where you stand on this, let us know in the comments. Of course, if you only own one of these two, then your decision's made for you anyway. That brings us to the experts team for Gameweek 14. Before we jump into the team, if you appreciate the time that goes into writing and editing every video and you'd like to show support, then hit like and subscribe if you're not already. Only 60% of you are subscribed, so if you're in the 40% you know what to do. The experts team lines up with Areola in goal. In defence it's Gabriel, Tsimikas and Taylor. The midfield's got Salah vice captain, Son and Bumo, Saka, and Palmer joins the team in place of Gordon. Up top Haaland captain and Watkins. The bench is Turner, Cash, Guehi and Archer. So that third defender spot could just as easily be Cash or maybe Guehi if West Ham are missing Bowen. Some tight calls this week, not just on captaincy. You look at this team and you think there's probably no changes you make to the front 7 for a while, which is a good position to be in, being able to prepare the rest of your team for blank Game Week 18. However, FPL always finds a way to throw up surprises, could well be Watkins this week. Every week we invite the experts to send in their top tips and insight. For Game Week 14, here's what they had to say. Flair Player says, December, where the games come thick and fast. This is where the expected minutes become so important. If you can nail it, it can prove to be a very fruitful month. Jason Fleming says, although Arsenal attack has been misfiring as of late in FPL, I'm fairly settled on keeping them for one more week. With the hindsight of Arsenal's performance in the Champions League and Wolves having a depleted midfield, I think it's worth giving them one more chance for a strong home fixture this game week. FPL Tony sold Eze and cash from Bumo and Tsimikas, and he says, I sold Tsimikas before his haul, but we didn't have the information about the Gomez injury. I think he's a great transfer in for those fixtures, even if he plays 2 of the next 3. I got Eze last week and he got injured, so I need to fix this issue as well. Forza Inter says, the entire FPL universe seems to have succumbed to Mbumo fever. I get it, he seems to have decent form, good upcoming fixtures, multiple routes to points, and some healthy underlying stats to boot. If Bowen isn't cleared to play, however, I'm thinking of looking at Luis Diaz as a differential. Dave sold Watkins for Darwin, and he says, things are starting to get a little template, so time to play the fixtures. I'm going without Watkins, which does worry me, but the chaos of Darwin's too fun to turn down. FPL Murph says, with 7 game weeks this month and a blank in game week 18, it's worth keeping 2 free transfers whenever possible. And lastly, Tur211 says, it's been very difficult to find a solid goalkeeper this season. Absolute nightmare area. I'll just suffer with Areola until the end, I guess. Thanks very much for watching. We'll be live on Saturday for the deadline. Look forward to seeing you all then. Enjoy the game week. See you soon for the next one.